fellow Toastmasters, lean in. I have quite a story to tell you. So at the end of the story, we're going to hear a very important message, but here we go. It's a story of a woodpecker. So it all started maybe a year ago. I was busy, I'm really into my yard, and I was busy cutting my grass, the front yard, the backyard. I'm edging, going about it, back and forth in the backyard, back and forth in the front yard. And then I get to the side of my house. And I'm going, you know how sometimes you see things in your peripheral vision? I'm going to the side of my house, and I see a hole in my house. I could not believe it. Here I am in Overland Park. I have a hole in my house that's like this. I couldn't believe it. I don't know what to do. I called Loopy. Loopy's the guy that helps me around the house. So Loopy comes out there. We're scratching our head. At this point, this is a year ago. We don't know what's going on. So we come up with a game plan. Loopy gets some boards. He fixes it. He paints it. Everything. I have to go to Sherwin-Williams to get the paint, and the problem is resolved. So I think. Again, about a month and a half goes by. Again, busy cutting the backyard, cutting the front yard, edging, going about my routine, and of course, there in the corner of my eye, when I go inside of the house again, another hole. How could this be? Loopy, can you come back over here? Loopy goes, Doug, I think you have a squirrel problem. I'm thinking, how could I have a squirrel problem? I look at the chimney, and I see how the boards are, and I'm trying to visualize, how could that squirrel get up there? Maybe he got up there somewhere, and he nested. So we come up with a game plan. Loopy boards it all up and paints it, and at that point, I think, the situation is resolved. Finally, the situation is resolved. The weeks go by, a month goes by, and here we are a year later. So, for me, I'm sure all you guys have important meetings. So for me, my most important meeting is every Monday at 9 o'clock. We have basically a national managers meeting. Everybody gets on the phone. And that meeting lasts approximately 3 hours. They always say 2.5, but it lasts 3 hours. It starts at 9 and it goes past 11:30 or so. So here we are, it's 9 o'clock, everybody's coming on the line, and we're all staying there a little bit. And usually I have about 15 minutes to talk during that conversation. So at about 9:15, I have my Bluetooth on, I'm talking, and all of a sudden I hear, it's driving me crazy. And it won't stop. And my office is there at the house down in the basement, and this sound will not stop. And of course, intuitively I figure out what it is. And it wasn't a squirrel after all, it was a woodpecker. And the sound just keeps going on and going on. I can't leave the call because everybody's on the call, right? How am I going to leave the call? I'm dealing with a house issue. I'm going to tell my fellow managers that I'm dealing with a house issue. So for at least 2+ hours, I just endure this pounding. It is killing me. So finally the conference ends. I go to the side of my house, and there he is, just this strong, healthy woodpecker, and he is just going to town inside my house. And of course, now it's not down low. Now it's about 25 feet up there, where I can't do anything about it. And he's just going. So I resort to rocks. I'm throwing rocks at it. Hey, trying to do whatever I can. So I'm going to resort to YouTube. So I go to YouTube. What can you do? Well, so I put reflectors. Per YouTube, I put reflectors on the side of the house. I got these little American flags, and I taped the American flags on the side of my house because they said the wind would blow it and would do something with this woodpecker. And of course, that wasn't the case. I called my mom. My mom goes, well, let me send over this repairman. So the repairman comes over, and instantly when he pulled up, I left out one little part. One thing on YouTube, one guy said he resorted to a pellet gun. I had an old pellet gun, of course. I didn't have any pellets for it. I had to go to the sporting goods store. I had to tell them they got pellets for it. And then the moment of truth, I missed the bird. And then, he was just flying around with attitude. Anyway, I called my mom. I called my mom. And she was on the send of a repairman. The repairman comes over here. And here's the important part of the story. He comes up and instantly he has credibility. He pulls up in his F-350 truck. I would say, he's about 60 years old, silver hair, and just credibility. And I'm telling him my problem, and he goes, son, let's take a look at the situation. He goes, you see that strong, healthy tree over there? I'm looking at the tree in my backyard. I said, yes. And he goes, you see that strong, healthy tree over there? I said, yes. And he goes, you see your neighbor's house? And I said, yeah. And he goes, what about the neighbor's house? I say, And he goes, now look at it. If you look at your neighbor's house, it has a concrete siding on it. So I said, okay, strong tree, concrete siding, wide open field. And even though my house was completely redone, painted and the wood rot fixed in 2009, apparently the contractor didn't do a 100% job, because on that far side of my house, there was a little bit of weakness over there, and that there was a little bit of rot. And so as the technician talked to me, he goes, listen, that bird has to provide for his family. He has to find a nest. He's going to do whatever it takes. He's not going to waste his time on that tree, or the neighbor's house. Your house is what he's picked, and he's going to keep coming back. So he fixes it, he paints it, and I still have my flags and everything over there. So I'm hoping the problem is finished. But here we go. After he left, I started to think about it. And here's the moral of the story. Take action on your situations. If you have a relationship that needs to get fixed, if you need to spend time on that relationship, take time on that relationship. If you have finances that need to be fixed, spend time on those finances. If you're not happy with your body, call Chad Austin Fitness. Whatever it takes, take action and do it, and do not let the woodpecker enter your life.